Okay, so we're here with Batman Arkham Origins. We're going to show you a new demo where Batman, who's just come out of a crime scene, needs to know some information about the contents of that crime scene. The information that he needs is about DNA sources. He needs to know the identity of some bodies at the crime scene. He's currently trying to find the Black Mask. He's trying to bring him to justice. And to do so, he needs to identify these bodies. Now, Batman, at this point in his career, he has the Bat computer, he has sophisticated crime fighting and forensic equipment, but what he doesn't have is he doesn't have a criminal database. He doesn't have access to criminal records en masse. So he's actually going to go to the GCPD building, he's going to sneak inside, he's going to infiltrate it, and he's going to access their computer system. Alfred's against this plan. He doesn't like the idea of Batman going in and breaking into a police department, but Batman's very single-minded, and he is going to go ahead and do that. Being that this is in the prequel space, Batman, for what it's worth, is no friend of the police. He's a vigilante, he's an outlaw. They don't like him, he's wanted, and Captain James Gordon is actually the head of a vigilante task force designated with the task of bringing Batman to justice. Now, we're here at the Batcave. I'll let Alfred welcome you.
Fists, you'll do less lasting damage to those police officers and civil servants.
Noted.
So, Batman, he's no friend of the cops, but he's also not aggressively against the police department. He certainly doesn't seek to engage against them. He just doesn't believe that they're effective in fighting crime in Gotham and doesn't really have any time for them. So he's going to get a new gadget in a moment, and he's going to pick that up and use that in his quest to break in and get that computer database. In the meantime, we'll show you quickly what's here at the Batcave in addition to the new gadgets. So we have the thing highlighted here is the Bat computer. Batman uses that for the crime scenes to do this reconstructions of the crime based on the evidence that he scans in those cases. There's also Alfred here that we can talk to. Why don't we go and talk to Alfred for a moment?
Congratulations are in order, sir.
I just used his arrogance to my advantage. A textbook move a child could have avoided.
True, but I doubt the rest of them will go down as easily.
If they do, we'll be eating that Christmas ham sooner than you think.
Ah, Christmas ham. Who doesn't like Christmas ham? Anyway, Batman can talk to Alfred anytime he comes back here to the Batcave. They'll converse about story events. They'll converse about things that Batman has done in the open world. Batman can seek Alfred's guidance. It's an interesting kind of a low-key thing compared to all the crazy, over-the-top Michael Bay stuff we've got going on in the game and in the action sequences. It's a little bit more low-key, a little bit more personal. And for that reason, I kind of like it. So Batman has picked up the concussion detonator. This is a new gadget in Arkham Origins that Batman can use to confuse and scatter enemy groups when they're tightly packed. So if you're fighting a large number of enemies in a tight space, by throwing one of these concussion detonators onto an enemy in the group, you can scatter them and make them start swinging at each other in attacks. And so it's really good to kind of turn the tide against dense groups of enemies. Now, the last thing we're going to show you over here is we are also going to show you the training area. Now, Batman is just beyond the Batmobile here, which is currently under construction. But the training area over here is where Batman runs his training simulations. So we can actually engage the challenge modes here, right here in the campaign. We can play those, and we'll get XP for playing those. And another new thing we've got in Batman Arkham Origins is what we call the combat training. So if Batman goes to the console here and activates that, we will give you a quick look at it. So mastery is really fun. People like to be good at stuff, is the short version for that. So people like to feel like they're getting better at a game. They like to feel like they're good at it. And we have done some work in Arkham Origins to help people get better at being Batman. So if we go all the way over to the right here, there's ranked, campaign, and custom challenges. Then there's combat training. What the combat training is it lets the player learn about how to play with the more advanced mechanics in the game, and also introduce some of the basics in there too. So if we select, for example, the top left there, we'll see that the training for there is things about just basic striking, doing a combo takedown once you've got your combo counter high enough, and generally using your multiplier. We also we get increasingly advanced as we add more of these things. So we've got the counter, here we've got the cape stun and the beatdown move. So these are kind of core abilities. One of the later ones we're showing here is that the concussion detonator and explosive gel can be used to scatter enemy groups when groups are densely packed. And that can also be combined with what's called the special combo multi-ground takedown. That's kind of a mouthful, but what Batman does with that is he jumps up in the air, he's got a whole bunch of batarangs, and he will throw a batarang at every enemy that's down on the ground at a time. So if he uses that combined with the explosive gel, and he has his combo high enough, for example over 5, he can explosive gel a bunch of guys down to the ground, jump in the air, and then batarang all those guys and knock them all out in one single attack. So combining that gadget and that takedown ability is very, very powerful and lets the player quickly take out large enemy groups in a surgical style. So I don't think we're going to demo anything else here in the Batcave. There's certainly a little bit more narrative stuff to see, but we're probably just going to move ahead and fast travel and head to the GCPD. So you can see the size of our open world here. You can see that Gotham is quite large, and you can see why we've added a fast travel system. That's the Penguin's boat in the top right, the final offer. That's the Pioneer's Bridge, which Firefly later in the game takes over with taking various hostages and putting explosive devices on here. Down at the bottom of the South Island is the GCPD building, and we're going to access the fast travel icon right here just above it and fly the Batwing to there and drop over that district. Now the way GCPD plays in the game is a little bit different to the other interiors you've seen in Arkham City and that you'll see in Arkham Origins. Batman does have the open world locations he can go around, but within the GCPD, unlike the other interiors you'll see, what Batman does in his other interiors, he has to clear each room in each area before he can progress. In the GCPD, Batman doesn't want to clear out the GCPD of cops. He's not aggressively up against the cops, he just wants access to that computer system. So what the player will do is he has to clear out certain enemies that are in his direct path and would oppose him, but there's also lots of areas that the player will just have to sneak past the cops just to get access to the police department. And in fact, it would be very unwise for Batman to challenge those cops because there's a lot of armed policemen inside this building. Okay, so Batman's going to sneak up to the top of the GCPD, and up there at the top there's a Predator encounter where Batman will have to clear that area out before he can even get inside the building. Now, the cops that you're seeing here, these are SWAT officers. These are cops that work under Lieutenant Brandon, and these are guys which effectively are in on the hit on Batman. Brandon has orchestrated things so that he wants to kill the Batman and sell the body of Batman to one of the assassins, claiming a chunk of the prize for the SWAT officers. He's one of the most crooked officers in the police department and commands this very trigger-happy, badass group of cops. They have a terrible reputation within even the police department. The cops are scared of the SWAT guys. So these are truly bad guys of the DCU and represent this earlier, simpler, more corrupt time of Gotham before James Gordon becomes the police commissioner.
Calling status. Possible assignment incoming.